Michael McCormack has survived the leadership challenge by Barnaby Joyce as Parliament returns for 2020. It happened after a feverish campaign over the past 24 hours by Barnaby Joyce, including the resignation of his colleague and Cabinet Minister Matthew Canavan. Let's go to political reporter Trudy McIntosh for more. Trudy, we don't know the outcome of the vote. Some on the Barnaby Joyce side saying 11-10. On the McCormack side, they're saying it was nowhere near that, but we're left to guess for now.
Yeah, Michael McCormack, Tom, emerging from this party room meeting this morning victorious, having seen off that challenge from long-time rival Barnaby Joyce, who it would have been a pretty remarkable comeback, it must be said, if Barnaby Joyce had managed to win that ballot today. As you say, when the whip came out, he said, we will not be telling the outcome of this vote. It's National Party protocol that they never reveal the actual number of who voted for who in this sort of ballot. But as you say, numbers flying around this building, people on both sides of this political fight spinning the numbers how they'd like you to see them. So it's hard to exactly know who's telling the truth when it comes to these numbers. One thing's for sure is it would be hard to see that Barnaby Joyce's political ambitions are completely gone here. He was very strident this morning about why he is the best person to lead this party going forward. But as for Michael McCormack coming out of this party room meeting, his message was very clear to Barnaby Joyce that after several attempts, this needs to be the end of it.
We will continue as a united team to put the people of regional Australia first and foremost. I want to thank my colleagues for again placing their faith in me. We're going to move on and we're going to work hard together, he and I and the rest of the National Party team, for regional Australians. That's what regional Australians expect, that's what they deserve, and that's what they'll get.
Did you ask him whether he'll challenge again?
No, I didn't. I don't expect him to challenge again. I've been endorsed as the leader. I was endorsed as the leader when we came back here after the May election last year. I was endorsed as the leader when he stood down in 2018. So that's 3 times in less than 2 years. I think that's enough to warrant me leading the party going forward.
It's worth remembering that this special party room meeting was originally set up so that they could decide the deputy leader of the National Party. Bridget McKenzie, as we know, forced to stand aside from that position because of the sports-wrought saga. It turned out to be a 3-way contest for the deputy leader's position. David Littleproud triumphant, but he also had to face off a challenge from Keith Pitt and David Gillespie. Here was Mr Littleproud on what he'd like to do as his time as deputy leader.
This is about vision for our people in regional rural Australia. This is about now back to business. The shenanigans are over. It's time to get back to looking after those people that are facing drought, that have faced up to these fires. It's time for us to focus on them, not us. The party has to focus on that, and we will. We've got a commitment from everybody in that room that we have a responsibility as being elected from regional rural Australia.
So the focus is on a few different things, including Matt Canavan, a clear loser out of this. We got a very clear indication that he won't be back in the cabinet, the role that he resigned from, Trudy, but do we know what he'll be doing next?
Well, Matt Canavan clearly rolling the dice last night when he came out publicly and said he'd be backing Barnaby Joyce and that he had therefore resigned from the Cabinet as Resources Minister. Michael McCormack making it pretty clear that he won't be back in the Cabinet as part of those Cabinet positions. Whether he will be given Senate Leader is something that's still up in the air. Also worth noting that Matt Canavan has referred himself to the Prime Minister for failing to declare a conflict of interest over the North Queensland Cowboys membership and a grant that was given to that club under the NAIF, which was something that he looked over as Resources Minister. So there's certainly still a cloud over his head there. Here was what Michael McCormack had to say about Mr Canavan's future.
Will Matt Canavan return to Cabinet?
Well, Matt Canavan has resigned his commission as the Resources Minister, and I wish him all the best.
We haven't heard from Barnaby Joyce since the spill. A lot of talking before it, Trudy, including on Sky News and a whole host of stations.
Yeah, Mr Joyce would be clearly licking his wounds now. He didn't want to come and speak to the cameras in the wake of losing that leadership contest. He walked completely in the other direction. But as you say, it was a very different story from what we had seen in the lead-up to this leadership spill. Yesterday, speaking to the media several times, this morning, making a very broad pitch on all the networks to say why he believed he is the best person to lead the Nationals going forward. He was part of his pitch.
We are crucial to the Libs forming government.
Well, it sounds like you're promising. It sounds like you're promising better marketing and a fight with the Liberals. Is that about the sum of it?
No, I'm promising that we will understand the issues that are pertinent to regional areas. Take the issues that we're dealing with right now. how in the Murray-Darling Basin we've got to make sure that the towns of Shepparton and Mildura survive. In the northern part of Australia, we've got to make sure we've got security of power supplies and that we actually do get delivery of new power stations so that we can secure those power supplies.
Okay, so are you promising a new coal-fired power station?
We absolutely have to build new power stations.
Scott Morrison will no doubt be relieved. Have we got any reaction from him yet since this result became clear?
No, Scott Morrison hasn't spoken since that, but as you say, he would be relieved and hoping, Tom, that this would be the end of the infighting within the junior coalition partner. He may not get that wish. This may continue to bubble away if Barnaby Joyce conceives that he will be able to have a tilt at the leadership again sometime going forward. But Scott Morrison this morning was attending that traditional church service that we see before the start of the parliamentary sitting year. There he was asked plenty of questions about the Nationals' leadership.
Prime Minister, is it a distraction to all of these important issues to have these questions over the leadership of the Nationals?
Not to me. I'm focused very much on the important business we have to do today in this Parliament and to honour those who have given so much for their country and in many cases have lost everything.
So, Tom, the focus for the Prime Minister now, at 12 o'clock he will be in the House of Representatives opening the condolence motion that is being dedicated today to discuss the bushfires, to pay tribute to the people who lost their lives as a result of this terrible bushfire crisis that's been ravaging the country. Also paying tribute to volunteers who have given up their time to help fight these fires. So for the Prime Minister, he would like that to be the focus today. That's going to kick off in Parliament here at 12 o'clock.
And we've known for some time that would be the focus. The Nationals talk about representing the bush, and yet here it unfolds today. Trudy, thank you.